Okay, I get it. When I first started thinking about making this video, I thought to myself, okay, yeah, maybe I shouldn't make a video about something that might not happen if I'm not completely sure. But then I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do it anyway.
It's Dan's Stocks. I teach you about stocks cause we're both Dan's.
Elon announced Model Y at the end of Q1 2019. He really only talked about it for like 5 minutes during the reveal. He talked about how he's going to have the highest safety of any crossover. It was going to go 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Price tag was going to start at $39,000 and go up to $60,000 for the highest trim. And then he also talked about how 3 out of the 4 trims will be available by fall 2020. But that was like it. It was a whole reveal based on the Model Y. But the actual amount of time that he spent talking about the Model Y itself was like 5 minutes. In fact, he talked more about the Tesla Semi, about the history of Tesla, and about Tesla's solar and energy department than he did about the Model Y itself. And this is kind of a trend whenever Elon talks about the Model Y. He'll make big claims and then he'll kind of downplay it. Sometimes he'll say big things like, yeah, I think this is going to outsell every other model that we've ever made combined. But then he'll kind of shut it down and say, yeah, but it's kind of far away and there are a lot of other projects that we're working on in the meantime. In fact, if you look at every single time that Tesla talks about the Model Y, it seems very much downplayed. You'd think it's a bit strange for a product reveal that he wouldn't spend that much time talking about the product itself, but he hardly spent any time at all talking about the Model Y. You would think he'd want to drum up a bunch of hype, but he didn't. Now, fast forward to the earnings call for Q3 2019. In response to a question from New Street Research, Elon talks about how he expects the Model Y, again, to outsell all 3 of the other models combined. The research firm asked Elon if he was expecting any cannibalism of Model 3 on the part of Model Y, meaning did he think that Model 3 sales were going to go down as a result of Model Y's release? Elon said with confidence that he wasn't expecting this to happen, and that if anything, he thought that Model Y was going to bolster Model 3 sales while still outselling all 3 of the other models combined. He talked about how people said the same thing when Model 3 was coming out, that it was going to absolutely kill the Model S was going to be gone, no demand for it, but in reality, it was the contrary. When Model 3 came out, it outsold the Model S by multiples, but sales for the Model S still went up fairly steadily. Later in that same earnings call, Elon talked about how a lot of projects have had their timelines moved up because everything has been working ahead of schedule. In Elon's own words, he said that things have been moved up upwards of 6 months. Now keep in mind that the original release date for the 3 highest trims of the Model Y were supposed to be early fall 2020. The past week or so on Twitter, we've seen a huge amount of Model Y sightings, just driving around or parked in Tesla service centers. It's gotten to the point where it's like every day now that somebody sees a Model Y driving around. Not only that, but there are some interesting rumors that have been circulating. A couple days ago, people started retweeting a rumor that supposedly came directly from an insider at Tesla that said the Model Y deliveries were scheduled to begin in 2 weeks. It's sort of a specific rumor, and it's not surprising that it would start circulating around the same time as all this Model Y hype is generated. At the same time, though, Tesla has a history of being bad at keeping secrets, and it wouldn't be terribly surprising if it actually was an employee that leaked this information. If that is true, that means that Model Y deliveries are going to start right around the time of Tesla's Q4 earnings call, or sometime in early February. To speak a little bit about Elon's comments on the Model Y, this weird class of sub-SUV, mid-size SUV, or crossover is the #1 selling consumer car by volume in 2019. Pickup trucks are normally #1 for sales volume just because so many companies use them for fleet vehicles, but recently crossovers have been #1 for personal sales, personal use. In fact, if you look at the top selling cars in 2019, the first 3 are pickup trucks, and numbers 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all crossovers. And the Model Y, a small SUV, is in that same class of crossover. It's been interesting to see Tesla's strategy over the years. They started with the Roadster, which was really low volume but really high margins. Then they started moving into higher volume but lower margin cars, allowing them to organically gain market share. Everything about the Model Y to me seems very attractive to the average consumer. It has 7-seat optional, starts at $39,000, goes up to $60,000. Pretty fair price range when you consider all that comes with it. It's understandable why there's so much hype around the Model Y. I mean, to me, everything about it sort of speaks to the average consumer. It's sort of a foot in the door with somebody who maybe wasn't considering buying a Tesla before, but now it seems like a very reasonable, sort of not risky option. I feel like before, if you were thinking about Tesla, you kind of had to be committed, like, okay, you really, if you're going to buy a Tesla, like, you really want this Tesla if you're going to buy it. But now it's starting to appeal to consumers who maybe weren't originally thinking or even, debating a Tesla in their minds. But Tesla with the Model 3 and Model Y is becoming more of a household name. You probably know somebody that has a Tesla now. It's become less of a novelty thing, and it's more of a car that people start to think of when you think of your options. Anyway, to get into the conspiracy theories, there has been a ton of Model Y sightings recently, and that wouldn't happen unless they were already producing at least a fair amount of cars. There's also been quite a bit of buzz surrounding the recent rise in Model Y VIN registration. They wouldn't be able to start deliveries unless registration was already either underway or complete with the NHTSA. So this is a really good sign showing that, okay, they're getting this done, they might actually already be further than we think. All of this combined with Elon's talk about moving the timelines up by 6 months with a lot of projects, as well as all the rumors/leaks that are going on right now, the puzzle pieces sort of fit together in my mind. Given Tesla's history with the Model 3, it wouldn't be surprising if Tesla is trying to wait until they're ready to start mass producing the Model Y in order to start generating buzz. And speaking of ramping up, there's been quite a big delay in Model 3 deliveries recently. Last time I checked, Tesla's website quoted at 8 to 10 weeks to deliver a Model 3, whereas not that long ago it was just 3 to 4 weeks. Again, all the pieces sort of fit together. They would probably need to clear some Model 3 lines in the Fremont factory to make room for Model Y, which of course would drive the wait times up by a fair amount for Model 3 deliveries. But the reason they're not worried about that is because of the newly completed Gigafactory 3 in Shanghai, which is now going to start mass producing Model 3s as quickly as they can. Now, if I'm wrong about this, the only other reason that I see for the increased wait times is that there's been a huge spike in the demand for Model 3, which isn't a bad thing either. So either way, I'm not worried about it. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think in the comments. To me, it seems like there are quite a few pieces that are fitting together. It's interesting timing. I really think that there's a lot going on right now that maybe we don't see, and I really think that Model Y is going to be a huge deal. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at Toflars. If you want to buy this awesome shirt right here, $20, great price, free shipping to the US. That's renewableThreads.com. I'll put all the links in my description as always. Again, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye. Goodbye.